Fun fact, dead people fart right after dying. And I don't know which one's worse. The smell of the fart once you're dead, or the possibility that you can actually smell your fart in the afterlife. Welcome to Break Time on Westside, your number one break time podcast, coming to you from Nairobi, Kenya. The man on the mic is Sir Denver B. The show is Tweetstreet, and this is the third episode. And as usual with Tweetstreet, I like to go right into Twitter, fish out some of your many tweets and discuss them, because y'all have a whole lot of bullshit that you need to put out online and I need to put out. So I might as well handle it here and now. Now, as usual, if you guys have any tweets that you feel do need my attention, you can always retweet and tag at Bagaka the D. The B and the D are capital, and it'll help direct me right to your very interesting tweets, or very interesting tweets that you have seen for my review and putting out. That being said, I actually do want to start from a tweet that I was actually referred to by my friend Sam at Njuguna Macau on Twitter. It was pretty interesting. So it was in line with this whole thing that people had been doing for the past 2-3 days, which is naming 10 things that other people like that you don't. Now, of course, people would talk about all sorts of things, from chocolate to ice cream, whiskey, reggae, avocados, watermelons, and so on. But there was one specific one that I was referred to. And this lady at Tamara Kahai, she goes on Twitter and she's like, name 10 things that other people like that you don't. And hers, and I kid you not, you can count this down for me: men, motherfucking men. So the way I looked at it, I was like, first of all, it almost sounds like I was sort of reciting the intro of 2.5 Men, because it would have just come out like men, motherfucking men. But anyways, my singing voice aside, that's besides the point. Firstly, I'd like to assume that this lady is a lesbian. I did not see any gay pride flag on her, but I'd like to assume she's a lesbian, because I think it's only lesbians that are allowed to say that they hate men to a degree, because when it comes to reproduction and intimacy and affection, if you're not a lesbian and you're a woman, then there's a good chance that you're liking men, because at some point you're gonna require this thing that men carry called dick. And honestly speaking, I see how it is that people can talk shit about men and then still go chase dick, because regardless of the dick that you're going for, whether it's still attached to someone's body, whether it's an artificial one like those things, or a piece of glass, or a vibrator, or a wooden one, either way, you're still going after dick. And this is something brought about by men. Now, I get it. There's a lot of women that have a lot of issues with guys, but I don't see why you have to push a ton of your hate there. Anyways, I do give this lady that much time on this podcast, because I honestly don't even think she deserves that much. So, granted, I will give a couple of things I like, and I will probably post it up on Twitter a little bit later on, because I feel as though people have looked at this in the wrong way. Let me give you mine. 10 things that I don't like that other people like. So 1, alcohol, because I don't take it. 2, weed, because I don't take it, and this one I personally just don't like. 3 is marmalade. I fucking hate. 4, skinny model like women. Y'all know me. You know, I got a sickness for the thickness, you know. I'm all about my plus size shorties. I'm all about them thick shorties and all. But I have made compromises here and there for a couple of slim ladies. Number 5 is butter. 6 is cheese. 7 is mayonnaise. But that being said, I do like a Thousand Island sauce, and I do salads when they have mayonnaise. It depends with how it's used. But personally, like mayonnaise on its own, absolutely hate it. 8 is any green so-called healthy drink. Personally, I think it's an escape from the reality that you need to actually eat healthy. And when you're busy trying to attribute it to a one-trick pony like a green drink, it's just bullshit. But that being said, I just hate it. 9 is high school. Obviously, there's people that hate high school, but there's a ton of people that loved high school. Personally, I think it was absolute shit. I went through the worst there, and hell, I almost died enough times. And 10, constantly posting on social media. That being said, I will admit one thing. I do post on social media. I will post from time to time, but personally, especially during my fun times, especially when I'm having the most fun, I'm not touching my phone. What the fuck am I touching my phone for when I'm having the time of my life? Like, I'm supposed to pause from the time of my life and start pulling up my phone to post up on IG, post up on Twitter, post up on Facebook or some shit. That's just not me. When I'm having fun, I'm having fun. Hell, I'm not even touching my phone. And I don't know, maybe I'm one of the few people that still does this, but I occasionally just put my phone aside on some random days and I just don't even look at socials. Fine, sometimes I'll end up looking at it in the evening and I'll find a bunch of different messages from like 10, 15, 20 chats and handle them. But for the most part, I'm not one person that enjoys posting up a ton on social media. That being said, on to the next one. Now, ladies, I don't know, it feels as though I sort of have a vendetta against women on this particular episode, but I don't. I personally don't. So, at Nimisire, I think that's what the Twitter handle is supposed to be pronounced as. She posted up this thing saying that raising girls who reject wife material, the term wife material, as a compliment. And it did bring out this whole fight here and there. Oh, you know, why should you be attributed to something that you're not? Blah, blah, blah. You're just valuing her as someone who's good enough to just be a wife. And personally, I think people were just losing their shit for nothing. Because when you recognize someone as great enough to be wife material, I think that's a compliment in itself. And people should actually recognize it as a compliment. Because even when we were kids, we'd go and we'd do a bunch of things here and there, and then you'd hear the teacher, and then you'd hear your parents, or you'd hear like a family friend, a relative, hell, maybe even a sibling saying that you're gonna make a great doctor, you're gonna make a great pilot, you're gonna make a great mathematician, you're gonna make a great teacher, you're gonna make a great DJ, you're gonna make a great person, and so on. Hell, I've been told that I'd make a great father. I'd like to think that I was being told that honestly, but you can never trust some of the shit that we're told these days. So I'm gonna take it like it is and just take it as a compliment. And I find it sort of odd that someone would catch a feeling simply because they're being described as wife material. Hell, nowadays as a guy, being described as boyfriend material is most certainly a compliment. But at the same time, it's almost like a mockery because you're being described as boyfriend material by a single person who'll still end up friend zoning you. It's absolute bullshit in my light, the way I look at it. But when you look at wife material, when you look at husband material, when you look at boyfriend or girlfriend material, it's a compliment in a sense because it shows that you have qualities and attributes that can reign supreme in something that's quite important. Because I feel as though people have sort of forgotten the importance of husbandry and the stuff that husbands do and wives and wife related things, quote unquote. You know, your ability to take care of a home, your ability to care for people, your ability to show a sense of motherly love and appreciation. That's actually some shit that people really kind of throw away. I'm not gonna get into the whole how women empowerment ruined a bunch of shit and everything, but it kind of did sort of ruin the idea of being a strong, supportive woman. Because at the end of it, it's like women are all about, you know, I'm just trying to do me. I gotta make moves. I have to be the best in my current field and career and everything. And you're forgetting that being a great wife is actually a really good compliment. People actually forget that because I don't know if people actually pay attention to a lot of stats, but divorce rates are going through the roof. We have more and more single mothers. We have more and more families where you're finding that there's 3 kids from 2 or 3 baby daddies. And even though the woman is married to one of them or not, like it sort of brings a lot of issues in family setups because the idea of step parents and step siblings is becoming a lot more common, which I'm not gonna say defies a lot of cultural views on the family and how whole and complete it's supposed to be, but it does kind of raise a lot of red flags, because if you're in a step sibling, step family type of situation, it becomes harder to get, equal treatment, especially across the board, because you might find some baby daddies will be like, you know what, I'm gonna take my son on a trip with my girlfriend and only just pick one kid and not all 2 or 3 of them. They'll want to treat one kid nicely and that's theirs, and treat the others like crap. Stepmoms have been known, and let me also include stepdads, because I don't want to get shade because stepdads aren't recognized, but stepmoms are the ones that are mostly known for mistreating a lot of the kids when it comes to being in the household. And being in the realm of wife material, like your ability to really sustain and support and build is a compliment in itself that I don't think people give enough credit for. This whole shit of being recognized as a boss bitch, this whole thing of being recognized as a queen, like that shit is cliche. That shit is so cliche. Like, y'all just do it to support each other from a I want to be like Beyonce type of perspective. I honestly think that being a boss bitch, being a queen is just overrated in itself. Being a wife, as much as it looks like it's a menial task, as much as it looks like it's a very below level sort of duty, is a lot more than what it is made out to be. Trust me, wives are amazing people, especially when they don't cheat, especially when the family's kept together, all the kids, the husbands, and y'all just work on raising an amazing, well-maintained family. Anyways, that being said, moving it on. So this tweet was personally the one that just took the cake for me, and it came from a Miss MS_Matei, who said, 20-year-olds have no business being on vlogs giving us relationship advice, please. Let them go outside and play with the dust and the dirt like their fellow children, or the fellow children. Now, I had to paraphrase that for the sake of y'all that don't understand Swahili, because this was a Kenyan tweeting this, and some of y'all are a bit further out. Now, that being said, it did kind of elicited a response that came from some guy known as @CollinsKaranja3, who said, I'd rather take advice from an age group known for being in multiple relationships at the same time, all while keeping their partners happy, from an age group filled with single mothers and their sob stories constant features on some person's blog site known as Biko Zulu. Now, that being said, I need to give this guy a round of applause. Hell, where the hell is my effect for yay at? Yes, there it is. Now, that being said, I will say that both of them have a point, and I'd say that the lady has a problem somewhere, because look at it this way. 20-year-olds having no business being on vlogs giving you relationship advice. Hell, 20-year-olds are in tons of relationships now. Nowadays, it's very hard to hear someone saying that they just got married and they've only been in one relationship. That was something that was super common with our parents' days, our grandparents' days, because it'll be a relationship with one person and you guys will stay together. People weren't that adept at changing relationships every so often. Nowadays, people have recognized the capability of choice, the availability of choice, and the whole entire mantra of there's more fish in the sea has kind of made a ton of people really discover that, you know what, I don't have to put up with people. I don't have to take someone's BS for a bunch of years and continue being with them for the rest of my life. I can leave, I can grow. And also, tolerance levels in people have gone down. People aren't as patient. If I find a shorty in bed with another nigga, hell, I'm stepping out. I'm not about to go in and start fighting for the relationship. What the fuck is fighting for the relationship at that point? She fucked up, she broke the relationship, I'm out. And I'm sure this is something that resonates with a ton of other people. So, of course, there's a ton of relationships to be had. Like, people jump from relationship to relationship, and I feel as though a lot of people do get to learn quite a bit in those relationships. So why not give us a bit of advice about them? I will say long-term advice, marriage advice, go to the parents. Relationship advice, come to the 20-year-olds. We have experience. Like, let me say it like that. We have mad experience. Now, I'd rather take advice from an age group known for being in multiple relationships at the same time, all while keeping their partners happy, than from an age group filled with single mothers. Now, I'm gonna say that this guy actually spoke so much truth though. When you look at a lot of the parents that are around right now, and I'm not trying to clown on anyone, I'm not trying to throw shade on anyone at this point, but yo, there is a fuck ton of single mothers. Single motherhood has become a norm in such a sense that it's almost crazy, because almost on a daily basis, I'm hearing about some lady that got pregnant from some guy and then they had issues and they broke it off. Or some lady chose to keep the baby and she's now a single mother on her own. Or you find that a bunch of people got married, they chilled for a bunch of months, maybe a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and then issues happened and then they broke it off. One person probably went up the social ladder or the financial ladder and then broke it off with the other one. People took the whole choice thing a little too far, in my very humble respect. So, of course, you will find that there's a ton of single mothers right now. And yo, if you're a single mother and you're struggling to make it happen for your children and you are just doing your best and it wasn't your fault that you're a single mother, I salute you. I salute you. If you're just doing whatever it is that you can to make sure your child is at their best, doing their best, living their best, I salute you. Because sometimes it's not all your fault, but I'm not gonna lie. A lot of y'all are just very lacking in tolerance and patience. I'm not saying that you have to tolerate when a nigga cheats on you 5 times, but at the same time, y'all need to understand that you can't be putting up 12th level intellect standards on us and then expect us to always deliver. You can't expect a guy to always provide you with cash for the gold digging ones. You can't always expect the guy to always have a job or always be able to sustain themselves. You can't always expect the guy to be emotionally intelligent. And also, why the fuck are you getting into some of these marriages when you haven't completely known the guy? Hell, I get some of y'all were growing old, but why the fuck were you trying to get married before you understood the situation that you're in? Marriages, especially from a religious and a traditional perspective from this part of the world, are stuff that's supposed to be forever. It's a bond that's not supposed to be broken. But like, with the number of divorces that have happened, with the number of separations, it's just mad though. It's very tough to really look and say that, you know what, I'm gonna go and have a good marriage and, you know, live as old as the Buffetts and the Gateses with their wives and shit. You know, people nowadays are more akin to Elon Musk and all, who's, you know, like switching different women here and there. You know, the Jeff Bezos will be like, you know, I'm divorcing my wife. Although I do have to say, Bezos actually did stay with his wife for quite a bit. Elon Musk is one who didn't stay that long. But still, I feel as though people are getting married at the wrong times, to the wrong people, for the wrong reasons. And because of that, and also with a lack of tolerance, a lack of patience, and a lack of understanding, you find that a ton of people become single mothers just like that. And just like that, they'll continue talking about how men are trash. And yet, there's a ton of good men that you just, rejected. So like this man said, rather taking advice for a bunch of 20-year-olds, I'd also take a bunch of advice from 20-year-olds because they've been switching relationships top to bottom, and also they're more current with relationship standards nowadays. Because hell, if I'm a 33, 34, 40-something-year-old person expecting 1990s relationship standards at this point, I'm not exactly that smart, or at least I'm not keeping up with the times. So anyways, at that point, I don't think I'm really doing myself justice. But anyways, I want to know what you think. Do you think the 20-year-old relationship standards are okay? Do you think the 20-year-old advice on relationship is okay? Or do you think that we should stop listening to them because they've just been handling multiple relationships? And also, granted, these people can live double and triple lives in their relationships and no one can even find a thing out. Anyways, it's been me, Sir Denver B, on Tweetstreet. If you guys have any comments, any feedback, any criticisms, and also if you want to contribute to that last bit, on IG it is at Breaktime on Westside. On Twitter you can hit me up at Bagaka, the D, the B, and the DR capital. I will see you guys later.